Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to explore what's inside the Bizagi connector package, how it's structured, and most importantly, how you can edit a connector outside the Bizagi Studio. Video will provide you crucial information that will be needed in our next video to understand how to run connector outside Bizagi Studio and without the process instance. I have already prepared sample connector with most of the attributes filled in. Connector contains single action with its description, inputs and outputs. It already includes various custom Node.js modules. It has global connector parameters defined as example base URL and environment. It has authentication parameters. So this way, when we download the connector, we can clearly see where each of these elements are stored inside the package and how they map to what we see in the connector editor UI. Let's start by downloading connector. All Bizagi connector packages will have a specific extension called bizc. Even though it looks like a specific file format, it's actually just a zip archive. To open it, you can use any zip tool and simply extract the content into the folder. Once extracted, you will see familiar folder structure as for any Node.js application. I will open this folder in Visual Studio Code so that we can walk through each file and directory. Let's go through most important files one by one. First is README file, which contains project name or connector name and connector version. Next is package.json file, which contains as well connector name, version, and other metadata. Most important, it contains all the Node.js dependencies which you have installed when you created your custom connector. Then follows technical file Bizagi router. This comes with each connector, and you shouldn't change this file. Then we have list of actions. As we have only one action, then in the actions.json file, we can see its name and description. In Node modules folder, we can find all the third-party dependencies. Configuration file is a technical one, and you shouldn't change its content. Error file is empty as I haven't specified any error codes, but if I would, you would find them here. Then follows most important file, which is a connector JSON definition. It contains unique ID for each connector. We will see its role later. And other metadata. Connector icon is encoded in base64. If you didn't know, you can change connector icon on the top left corner. Under system definition, we can find all the global parameters. As example, connector base URL and environment. In this case, environment has a property values array, which specifies the choices, which later you can select in the system configuration. Then we have authentication parameters. For the API key, we have enabled encryption, or password mode is set to true. But for the username, encryption is disabled. Then we have array of actions. Each action as well have a unique ID. Here you can also find other action attributes as technical name, display name, description, and here you can see the corresponding attributes on the UI. Action inputs and outputs are actually defined in the XML format by XSD schema. This XSD schema is encoded in base64. If you want to see the content of it, take the string value, decode it, format it, and you will see how input and output definition is specified in the Bizagi connector. Under authentication folder, we have our authentication logic, which you can find under auth.js file. All the actions are defined under actions folder, and here we can see our invoke function. Now, when we have understood the structure, let's make small changes. For example, I will modify existing action invoke function by adding additional comment. Then let's also modify action description. Let's save all the changes. And to create connector from the source, only thing what we need to do, we need to create new archive file. Important, when you create new archive file, you need to specify the same file extension used by the Bizagi, which is bizc. Let's create the archive. So here we have again our hello world Bizagi connector file. Now let's add new connector through the studio. Let's choose option from file. Instead of using the original Bizagi connector file, let's look for our version and upload it. If a file has been correctly prepared, in the Bizagi Studio, you will see our connector created with the corresponding version. And if you go to the edit mode, we will see the connector contains modifications which we made, plus all the rest of the metadata was globals, Node.js modules, inputs, outputs. Now let's try to modify existing connector. I'll go back to the Visual Studio Code and add small comment in existing action. I will also modify connector version. I will need to do this change in 3 places. Most important is connector JSON file. After that, I need to do the modification in the README file. This is optional. And in the package JSON file. Now let's go back to the source. I will delete my previous connector package. And I will create new archive with latest modifications. Most important is to ensure that you add correct file extension so that when uploading file to the Bizagi Studio, it will recognize the file format. It might not be obvious how to modify existing connector through the file, but you need to follow all the same steps as if you would upload new connector. And at this point, Bizagi Studio will understand that this is the same connector which already exists in the studio. Match is done by global ID specified in the connector JSON file. Let's save the changes. And if file has been correctly prepared, under the connectors, you should see new version. And if we go into the edit mode, we should also see our changes. So this is the way how you can do the changes outside the Bizagi Studio using any code editor. So thank you for watching. I hope this video was useful. If it helped you, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what other Bizagi topics you would like me to cover next.